Hello, dear friends. I'm your headmister, Lord Stephen Gearhart.
And I am your co-mister, the man with no name, Lance Wayne.
And together we are the Misters let's try it again. The Misters of the Lance!
The Misters of the Dark!
Oh, shut up! Whatever. Join us wherever you stream your favorite podcasts or go to mistersofthedark.com, where we'll be discussing all things horror, from films and books to everything in betweensies. We also have the occasional victim. I mean, guest.
Only on the Fearscape Media Network.
Shut up, Lance! I always get the last laugh.
Fearscape Media Network, exploring the unknown, one podcast at a time.
Hello, hello, hello. You are listening to Wishful Drinking and Binge Thinking. This is your host, Holly Kitten Caboodle. This week, I'm drinking some boxed wine because I'm classy as fuck. Welcome to the show. I've got the black box cabernet sauvignon, which to us connoisseurs, we just call it Cab Sav because, let's face it, we're fancy. Actually, take that back. We just call it a cab. People know what we're talking about, and if they don't, they're not fancy. Exclusion is fun. For the people doing the excluding, actually really hurtful to other people. And actually ends up being very harmful to the people doing the excluding as well. So really, just don't exclude people. It's not cool, man. I was trying to think about what to do for this month's topic. And then it dawned on me that, like, when the new year rolls around, most people develop, like, some kind of plan for themselves. They do their New Year's resolutions. And a lot of those resolutions have to do with well-being and fitness and health and just being a better version of yourself. And I am going to help you do that today. So here's a fun thing. Like, I've never been the skinniest person, but I've never been overweight. But I lost a lot of weight in the past year or so from just changing my habits and stuff like that. And just doing more wellness type shit stuff. And I felt better while I was doing it. And I was like, oh damn. All those people that talk about how exercise actually makes you feel better were right. And I was the kind of person, I would rather exercise for 3 times a day than change the way I eat. But I actually had someone yell at me until I changed the way I ate this year. And guess what? I was healthier, I felt better, and I was just all around in a better place, because when you feel better, you are better. And I would not have believed, had I not done it, that what you eat can make that much of a difference. But fuck it did. I just said butt fuck. as always, fuck any kind of preamble. I'm just going to jump right in because you want information. That's why you're here. And I am a few absolutely full glasses of cab in, and I just want to share information with you. Have you ever been at that level of drunk that you just kind of want to sing things instead of say them? So, how about I tell you what happens to your brain when you exercise? So, exercising improves learning and mental performance. It helps prevent and treat dementia, Alzheimer's, and just brain aging in general. Like, it slows down that aging process. Fuck yeah. I'm gonna live forever. At least I hope so. In my dreams I will. It reduces your sensitivity to stress and depression and anxiety. So exercising kind of helps you build up a tolerance to any of those, chemical imbalances you might be having. Those endorphins help battle the low serotonin and dopamine, and they try to balance all of those chemicals so you have that homeostasis. You also have increased levels of brain-deprived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, which basically regenerates nerve cells, which your brain is just a big collection of nerves and shit. So, yeah, that's a good thing. It reduces the impairment of brain cells and loss of coordination related to Parkinson's. And it encourages the pituitary gland to release those endorphins I was talking about. And here's a weird thing that it does. It increases the functional acuity of the temporal lobe. And the temporal lobe is basically responsible for storing all of your sensory memories. So if you have shitty memories where you don't remember much, especially sense-wise, like what smells are like and what feels are like and all of that, exercise helps that for some reason. Don't know why, but it does. So if you like those memories, it'll help you keep them. Man, brains are weird. But exercise is beneficial for them, so fuck it, let's do it. Did you know? Science basically says that 30 minutes of running results in faster reaction times, and it also results in higher vocabulary learning. So, like, scientifically, if you run for 30 minutes or jog or walk or whatever, and you go read a book and you see some words you don't know, those words will stick with you more because you exercised. People that don't exercise don't, like, have that comprehension, and they can't build up. That's just like a fucking weird thing that results from exercise in your brain. God, brains are weird. This is so fucking strange. Like, I'm learning things as I'm teaching them to you. I mean, I do a little preparation beforehand. I glance over things. I print shit out that I want to say. Who am I kidding? I do no preparation for this other than the gallons of alcohol I chug. Science also says that physically active women that are over 65 years of age are less likely to develop cognitive decline. You know, all those old ladies that are all confused and shit? They didn't do enough exercise. You can be sharp as a tack well into old age, ladies. I'm not going to say men, because let's face it, you all die earlier than we do anyways. We're gonna rule the world when we're older. Probably not, though, because, you know, racism and the patriarchy and all of that is still rampant, even if we pretend it's not. Okay. Aerobic training, things like aerobics. I don't know, fucking yoga. Aerobic training increases the connectivity in the temporal lobe, the place that, once again, stores short-term memories into long-term memories. So they did a 1-year study to show people who walked for at least 30 minutes a day as compared to people who did not walk every day, the non-walkers. It improved their brain connectivity up to the level of college-aged adults. And that could go up to over 65 years of age. So basically, if you want to keep your mind sharp well into old age, maybe you should get up and do some shit instead of just sitting around. Like, sitting around reading books won't help keep you as sharp as reading books sometimes, but also doing some exercise for part of the day. Let's see. A lot of studies have been done on the benefits of exercise, and these are just a few of the results. But there was a 25-year-long study that found out that higher fitness levels were associated with better verbal memory and reaction time. So, yeah, you want to avoid that car accident? Fucking swerve out of the way just in time. Your reaction times are going to increase if you do regular exercise. And guess what's also going to increase that? Not smoking a bunch of weed all the time, guys, because that lowers your peripheral vision and fucks you over in that way. So don't do that. Twice weekly resistance training impacts the response inhibition process, which is the ability to filter inappropriate responses during a conversation. So, you know, maybe old people just don't give a fuck and say what they want because they don't do resistance training enough. Maybe they would be nicer and less bitchy if they did some twice a week workouts. But you know what? If you don't want to do that, I don't blame you. If you want to be a crotchety old person that just cusses out the world all the time, I'd be okay with that. I'd be happy as that old person. I'd be like, I'm already like, get off my lawn. My friends used to call me Gran Torino because I would be like, get the fuck out of my apartment. I don't want you here. Oh, introversion is fun. Some other benefits. A study showed that patients with psychiatric disorders that practice yoga or walked for 1 hour 3 times a week showed higher GABA levels. And GABA is a neurotransmitter that it's basically like the relaxation neurotransmitter. It also helps you sleep. It kind of works in tandem with melatonin and stuff. It's relaxing as fuck, and we want a lot of GABA in our brains. So just doing yoga or walking for 1 hour 3 times a week just naturally enhances that. So you don't have to take that outside melatonin or anything for help because you're increasing your GABA levels by doing walking or yoga or just some kind of movement type activity. It wasn't just to cause higher GABA levels. It improved your mood and it decreased your anxiety, which makes sense because GABA is the relaxation neurotransmitter. And yes, those are some side effects of it. Now, out of the people doing yoga and walking, the yoga group showed more progress than the walkers. So basically we're saying that, yeah, walking's fucking good, do it, but if you have an opportunity to do the yoga, that's going to give you some more neurotransmitter style benefits. So do it. There have been some studies with kids about brain development and shit like that. And some of the studies say that physical activity is super important because their brains are developing. And as some of the studies showed with increasing verbal comprehension and things like that and memory, then clearly it's going to help the brain develop in that way too. Any form of physical activity showed higher IQ levels and academic achievement test scores in kids. So, man, did you ever hear those stories a while ago about schools like cutting out PE like that was gonna fucking help them? What a bunch of idiots. Because all of these studies are saying that movement assists with learning. So, you know, if you ever think about putting your kid in a school that's like math, and no recess every once in a while, then fuck that school. And for kids, just 10 minutes of exercise increased concentration and attention in teenagers from 13 to 16. So, you know what sucks? When you're in high school and you only have one PE class as one of your, 8 classes, so you only have that period every 8th period, and some days you don't have it at all because you only have, 5 periods a day. What was your high school experience like? That was mine, because, once or twice a week, we just didn't have PE, and that blew. Actually, I'm not even sure we had it in later years. That was more like freshman, sophomore type shit. Man, I'm fucking glad I played sports outside of school, because if they were taking away that movement, I would have never been able to concentrate. Exercise also reduces symptoms in children diagnosed with ADHD. Holy shit, I moved around a lot as a kid. Maybe that's why I never figured out I might have that. Who knows? We never will. Because I can never get tested, because I give psychological evaluations and tests and things like that. So how can I test myself on tests I can give? The results will be horribly skewed. Do I have ADHD? We'll never know. Psychology's fun. Anyway, on a personal level, here's what I learned over the past year that helped with my little miniature weight loss journey / just getting into shape and toning up and whatnot. But turns out walking for 30 minutes every day plus a 5 to 10 minute exercise that just hits target groups of muscles will do so much more than going to the gym and acting like you know what you're doing on all the machines and shit. I mean, just to start off, it's really hard to get into the frame of mind where you can exercise regularly, especially when you feel like you only have a couple of days a week that you're free to really do much. But it's so easy to incorporate 5 to 10 minute exercises into your day. And if you do that every day, guess what? It actually does build up, and you start to notice a difference in a little while. And, oh shit, I wish I had some pictures I could show you. I fucking lost 20 pounds-ish. It was intense. But the thing is, I didn't do that just with exercise. Because, like I said before, I'm the kind of person that would rather exercise all damn day instead of change their diet. But someone convinced me I should do that, so I did. And holy balls, did it make all the difference in the world. So, on that note, I want to talk a little bit about how diet affects your mental health and well-being and whatnot. So, the thing I learned was that, I spent years saying that people who count out and balance their macros are fucking douchebags. But it. Then I did it, and it worked. God damn it. It did. Turns out I wasn't getting nearly enough protein, even though I'm like a fucking meat eater. I love meat. I do. I wasn't getting enough meat. I wasn't getting enough vegetables. I fucking hated vegetables. I ate like 3 of them, but then I forced myself to eat a bunch. And like, I used to be like, you know what? I hate sweet potatoes, which is weird because I love sweet things and I love potatoes. Why don't I like those? Turns out when you force yourself to eat them a few times a week, you end up kind of liking them. And now they're one of my favorites. So just make yourself try new things. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, a lot of people want to try a more natural approach to balancing their neurotransmitters and feeling better. So I'm going to talk about the stuff you can do with your diet to feel better in general. This is not a replacement for medications. So if your chemicals are real fucked up, you're gonna need some medications. But, you know, if you're only kind of messed up, this might help a little bit. So here we go. If you are experiencing a blank mind, a loss of appetite, or a lack of motivation, some of those depression type symptoms, you might be low on zinc. Wait, I'm doing this backwards. Fuck. Hang on. I could edit this out, but I'm not gonna. Ignore all of that. So, are you experiencing anxiety? You might be low in folic acid and magnesium. If you want more of that shit, more folic acid, you need lots of leafy greens, meat, nuts and seeds, beans, and some oranges. Magnesium, you need some vegetables. You need some nuts, you need some seeds, you need some whole grains, you need some dairy, you need some legumes and fruit, and maybe a little bit of chocolate. Now, if you have shitty concentration and attention, you might need some B1, and you can get that from some whole grains and some vegetables and some seeds, specifically sunflower seeds, and some nuts. And fish. Fish is going to have a lot of that. Pork is going to have a lot of that. And if you're feeling depressed, there's a lot of things you could be low in with depression. According to this food list, you could be low in vitamin B3, B6, C, folic acid, magnesium, selenium, zinc, omega-3s, tryptophan, tyrosine. All of that could be causing your low depression. So, a diet that would include all of that shit are going to be some whole grains, some fruit like bananas, some fish, especially for those omega-3s. You're going to want some fish, especially salmon. Some lean meat for the tryptophan, like turkey. A lot of turkey and things like that. Magnesium. Again, a lot of nuts, seeds, whole grains. Some plain yogurt, dairy type thing. A lot of vegetables. Brussels sprouts and cabbage and spinach and things like that have good magnesium and selenium. Back into the whole grains. You might just eat a bunch of brown rice. That'll help. You also might be low in GABA if you're depressed, and whole grains help a lot with GABA. Now, if you have some shitty memory, bad memory, you might be low in B5, B6, B12, omega fatty 3 acids, Wait, strike that, reverse it. Omega-3 fatty acids. So again, whole grains, dairy, fruits. The fruits for this one are more like for vitamin B5 or like watermelon, blackberry, lemon, raspberry. B6. Back to the whole grains, some brown rice, some bananas, tuna, trout, salmon. Those have some of the biggest amounts of vitamin in them, including the omega-3 fatty acids. Salmon is the biggest. Walnuts have a shit ton of that. And it's fucking weird for B12, but like liver, turkey, lamb, chicken, bunch of seafood. Bunch of seafood and a bunch of dairy, some eggs and things like that. If you have a lot of irritability, you might be low in B6, magnesium, and selenium. I have already named all the shit you can eat for those. You can also look it up. Just remember what you're low in if you're having those symptoms, and I don't know, the internet will tell you what you need for those foods. Stress, you could be low in B6, B3, and magnesium. If you've got a lot of confusion, again, B12 is the issue, as well as zinc. And insomnia, you need some more magnesium, man. Accidentally started. If you got a blank mind, you need some zinc. Zinc is like oysters, shrimp, cereals. You can have nuts, a lot of cashews and walnuts and almonds, some dairy, different cheeses like mozzarella and Swiss, the white cheeses, and legumes. Ooh, miso is really good for zinc. Get some miso soup. And then some dark meat chicken for this one with turkey, beef. Pumpkin seeds and sesame seeds are good. Vegetables and blackberries and kiwi for the fruit. If you have a loss of appetite, same thing. More zinc. Just what I said. Lack of motivation, you need some zinc. And you need some tyrosine. Tyrosine is in weird meats, like really lean meats like livers and turkeys and tunas. And then it's in a lot of dairy. Cheddar. Cheddar has a lot of tyrosine in it. Gruyere, mozzarella, parmesan, Swiss. It's also in sour cream. You can get a lot of that from sour cream. Veggie-wise, you can get it from avocados. Again, from miso and soy sauce and that kind of stuff. And bananas. You know what? Just eat a shit ton of bananas. Unless you're allergic like me, in which case, oh, you're just going to have to be forever unmotivated. So sad. Yeah, so anyway, why did I do a whole fucking episode on exercising and eating some goddamn bananas? It's pretty simple, because everyone wants to be a better version of themselves, especially in the new year. When New Year rolls around, for some reason, on this arbitrary day, you're like, I should be healthier, I should do better, I should do this, this, and this. Even though throughout the year, I keep saying that I don't have enough time or effort or energy or anything like that. But I should do these things. So, you know what? Snobby, clueless sounding person. And by clueless sounding person, I mean someone who sounds like they're from the movie Clueless in the 90s. That's a reference I just made. As if. But anyway. You tell yourself you can't do these things, but you can. And I'm living proof that if you actually put the effort in, you'll notice the changes. I'm recently also living proof that if you don't keep up with those changes you make, you will revert right back to schlubdom. Schlubdom, which is what I'm calling my current situation of gaining weight back and just eating crap and not exercising. It's schlubdom. So maybe I'm doing this episode to re-motivate myself. Maybe I'm doing it to motivate any of you who are on the fence about whether you should join that gym in the new year or whether you should change your eating styles or not, because you're not sure whether it'll really make that big of a difference. And I am here to tell you it fucking absolutely will. Trust me. I did this thing called an Elimination Diet, where you spend an entire month without eating products like dairy, caffeine, gluten, soy, peanuts, and any derivatives. That's right, no fucking peanut butter. And God, it wasn't as hard as you thought it would be. There's some good recipes that tided me over for a few weeks, and yes, I just wanted a cheeseburger in the middle of it, but it was fine. I mean, I had salmon, I had some meat, I had vegetables that I started to like, and, you know, it wasn't that bad. But anyway, by the end of it, holy fuck, I dropped down to 122 pounds. I haven't been that light since middle school. I don't know. I was a tiny child, maybe more like early high school days. Anyway, the point is, it absolutely does make a difference. And I did all of that while I was doing those 5 to 10 minute a day exercises. And holy shit, what a difference it makes when you actually put the effort in. So if you don't feel like you can commit to all of that shit, but you do want to be healthier, choose one goddamn thing. Just one. Maybe you do that 5 to 10 minute exercise in the morning. Shit, do reverse crunches, regular crunches, and I don't know, 2 other things. Like 15 each. Doesn't matter. Just work out for 10 minutes every day. And I guarantee you, by the time the month is over, you're going to see some kind of change. Or if you don't have time to exercise, but you do have time to cook for some reason, because that takes longer. I don't know why you would have that time and not the other time. Anyway, change some of the things you're choosing. You know, get a gluten-free pasta instead of the regular pasta. Use some kind of replacement instead of dairy. Just try to do something that's slightly healthier for you, and all of those choices start adding up. And I guess what I'm saying is that if you feel like you can't do something, make one tiny little change at a time, and you should be able to see differences in the long run. So if you feel like you can't do something, make one tiny little change here and there until you start noticing that lots of your habits are changing. That's what worked for me. I just introduced things slowly. But the biggest thing for me was that I had accountability. I had someone to yell at me if I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. Oh, you know what else sucked during that little period where you had to, what the fuck did I, oh yeah, the diet thing where you didn't have shit. The Elimination Diet. You couldn't have alcohol. I had to film an episode super early because I couldn't have alcohol that month. So, cheers, here's to that. Clink. Anyway. Ooh. Good cab. That's good for a box wine, honestly. That black box, they got some good shit. It's no worse than any other cab I've had. The point is, make tiny little changes here and there. And it will result in some things that you didn't even think of. Like your neurotransmitters. You didn't know that your GABA could increase if you just walk around for 30 minutes every day? You know what you do while walking around 30 minutes every day? The grocery store. It's like 30 minutes of walking right there. You don't even have to change your schedule for the most part. Just think of that as your exercise for the day. And if that was only 15 minutes, well, then you only have to do 15 minutes of walking later. And bam, 30 minutes of exercise for the day. You did it. You did it. You did it. Yay! Dora the Explorer style. So I guess this is my New Year, New You episode. Which I discuss self-improvement. And if we're discussing self-improvement, you know what I'm going to advocate for. Fucking take a few minutes every day and meditate. Because there are so many studies that back that shit up too. And hell, maybe you're one of those people that can meditate while you exercise. 2 birds, 1 stone. Shit. Yoga does that real good. So, you know what? Maybe just everybody do yoga. I don't know. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but you're listening to me for a reason. So maybe just decide whatever day. It could be today. It could be 2 months from now. Whatever day you decide. Because New Year's is a fucking arbitrary day and New Year's resolutions are arbitrary too. But if you want to be better and do better, start now, today. Don't put it off. And just do it for 5 minutes. You can spare 5 minutes. Those 5 minutes you were just going to be browsing social media on your phone or some other shit. And after you've done it, give yourself a goddamn pat on the back. But don't reward yourself with sweets or some other shit that's going to set you back. Just know you've got the satisfaction of doing something good for yourself for the day. And that's pretty much all I got. Have a happy New Year, everybody. I'm going to finish this glass of cab that I got over here. And it's really just like a half a sip. I drained that shit. But yeah, be good to yourselves. If you fuck up, don't worry about it. This is about long-term goals. When I got my shit together, I did not see results immediately. I just trusted the process and I kept doing it until I did see results, and it took a little while. But holy shit, those results ended up blowing my mind. So, stick with it. Whatever you do, stick with it. You won't see results for a little while, but that's okay. In the meantime, you'll just enjoy trying new things, setting new habits for yourself, because studies show, once again, that people who habitually do something and have a schedule for themselves they do have higher neurotransmitter levels, both with GABA and with serotonin. Serotonin is that homeostasis kind of chemical. So boost those by just giving yourself a schedule and sticking to it. And if you do fuck up, don't worry about it. Again, this is long-term goals. One day won't fuck something up. Don't let it ruin your shit. If you say, one day I need a dessert, or one day I need to just lay on the couch and not do anything, it's fine. One day isn't going to kill you. Take it. Take all you need. But also put the work and the effort in to get what you want. That's advice for life. Okay, yeah, this has been wishful drinking and binge thinking. I'm gonna go take a fucking nap. It had me in a singing mood earlier, but now this cab's got me kind of tired. Peace out. Fearscape Media Network and